Hey, I have a mustache. I've tried everything I could to get rid of it, guys. I've really tried. I fought. I went to the surgeon, and he just looked at me and said, "Get out of here." He gave up. Someday, the doctors will find a cure to this mustache. So, anyway, as I was driving home, I began to think about an old game I played and why it didn't really work out for me. And I think the good reason is it wasn't because of the DM or anything, it was the amount of players, the number of players. And I thought it'd be kind of a fun video talking about the number of players versus 1DM and what that's like, because I've done quite a few of them. Let's get started with number 1. 1 player versus 1DM. This is where you're the main character as a player. Everything you do reflects upon you. You don't have to worry about anybody else getting in the spotlight. All the fighting and the combat is on you. The combat's quick. You get to make your decisions. Like, you are the one. Now, the big issue with this is, I hear the biggest issue for sure is you lose your range of abilities. You lose your lock picking. You lose your spell casting. I mean, if you really want to, you can multi-class into 4. But the thing is, at level 4, and you're multi-classing into 4 different classes, for example, you're not really good at anything. It kind of loses its luster. It's not that exciting when you can do absolutely anything. It's better when you have your own special class, your specialty, because it feels like a more proper character. Now, 2024 works really good because you can do anything. You're unstoppable. Now, the problem I hear a lot of people say, well, how is balancing going to work? It's going to be really hard to balance it with the monster manual. Oh, yeah, the good old CR system, was it combat rating? It really stands for crap, really. Look, it's no secret that the CR rating is really bad in D&D 5e, especially 2024, what I want to call 5.5, what they want to call 5.1, apparently. Either way, we all know it's not good. It's not balanced. It's crap. So it's up to DM to kind of figure out how they're going to balance everything. Going solo, this might be the only time I might recommend going with the 2024 rules. Because in 2024, you are ridiculously good at everything you want to do. Like, you're unstoppable. You're unbeatable. It's ridiculous. So you can fight bigger things with the 2024 rule set. Now, when you play with 2 people is really good too. So now you have another player to interact with. He covers some of the bases you can't cover. You get really close and intimate. This is your brother. This is your sister. This is your chair.
But can you do this?
But this is where combat's still quick. Because just you and one other guy, you're not really waiting around a lot for things to happen. Your interactions and roleplay work really good, especially as a DM. Just deal with 2 people. You're the shopkeeper. It works out really good that way. And once again, I don't know why people are like, "Oh, there's only 2 people. This isn't gonna work." It works really good. I mean, it might be one of my favorite numbers to work with, honestly. Now the issue is once again, you don't really have all the utilities. You can have your melee fighter, your ranged fighter. You might have your mage, but you're gonna lose out on your utility or some other space you would want to cover. You won't be able to get all of them. And that is kind of the big bummer about doing the whole 2 players. I mean, I guess you could multi-class. That could probably work. Probably. You still might miss out on a lot, though. 3 players. Now, 3 is beginning of the ideal range. With 3 players, you don't get nearly as much attention. It's like an exponential amount of attention you lose with more players. Your attention for your characters goes doom. And as a DM, it is harder to write for more people at once and focus on everybody at once and give everybody an equal amount of time, or even better yet, a reasonable amount of time. With 3 players, you can cover you can't cover all your bases. You get your mage, your utility, and your fighter. And that trio can work out very good. It works fantastic. And with a tight-knit group like that, the RPing is really good. And the thing is, all the modules work great with 3 players. A lot of people think, oh, you really need 4 for a module. No, 3 works fine. All right, 5e and 5.5 or 20, whatever the heck you want to call it, they're really not that hard. Alright? Unless you get really bad dice rolls like I do. Unless I keep critting and just wipe them all out. My point is, 3 players, I feel like you can do a module just fine. And really, you won't have too much of an issue. It might be a little hard, but your DM can just tweak things a little bit as need be. And you'll still have yourself a really good time doing the whole Curse of Innistrad or the Phandelver mind thing. 4 players. The ideal golden number of players with 1 DM. You get all of your bases covered, every single nook and cranny covered. You can have 2 mages, your healer, and your fighter, or you can have a monk in there. There's a lot of creativity, and the game at this point is very manageable. As a DM, it's not hard to work with all the backstories, give everyone attention, and while as a player you're not getting as much attention, with 4, you're still getting plenty of attention. You're still getting the sweet, savory, scene juice you so badly crave and desire. You're still getting all that. And on top of that, the CR rating works better. It really doesn't. It's still too easy. But 4 is like the ideal. And that's a golden number people want to get. And 4 isn't bad. It's not. It's actually great. The games I run 3 games. Cyberpunk has 4. D&D has 4. 4 is a good number, and most people agree with 4. Although I think in Cyberpunk, 5 might be really good too. Speaking of 5 is the highest in the ideal range. With 5 players, not only do you cover all of your bases already, but you get a little more oomph out of it. You get a little bit more strategy, you get a little bit more variation. A little bit of Monica in my life. And the group is pretty nicely knit together, everyone can interact with each other just fine. The issue you begin to notice though is people start getting a little bit more chatty in these groups. Now this is a forever group. That'd be ridiculous if I just made that generalization, but people tend to get a bit more chatty, which means the game starts getting bogged down a little bit. It's not too bad yet, but it's definitely manageable, and the game is still a really good time. But that's when you begin to notice a bit more, and then you get the players who are just wanting to go, okay, let's go, and you get the players who just want to make a joke at literally every sentence the DM ever says. Chuckleheads, am I right? But 5, I would say, is in the ideal range, and that's generally agreed upon. 3 to 5 are the ideal ranges. Let's get out of that again. Let's go to 6. 6 players, that's what we're gonna have. 2 players have 2, like these 2 are having a conversation, these 2 are having a conversation, these 2 are having a conversation. As a DM, you're just sitting there waiting, and that's when your wait times begin to get really bad. Remember that exponential downward curve, the amount of attention and story you get? That's when this really begins to hit. That's when you really begin to feel like I've been waiting for 20 minutes for this one guy to get the hell out of the shop. Thank God he's done it. This one guy has to talk to the priest. Oh my God. I know I went first, but this is, oh my God. And then that's when things start really beginning to bog down with 6 players. Keep in mind that all this is a generalization. There's obviously ways for a DM to make this all work out really well, smooth it out with players, but it's DM and players interaction, and with more people, the mindset changes. I don't know how to describe it, but if you've been playing D&D, or really any game, and you get a big amount of people, I think you know what I'm talking about. What this kind of social kind of structure of the group kind of begins to change as more and more people join. People begin to kind of break off in their own little worlds. And then the game starts getting 7. One of the games I played started with 7 players. Now this was pretty... The DM made it work for a little bit. It was trudging, it was slow, not much happened, but we really, as players, you really wanted to make this go, so we pushed along. There's a lot of effort, but there's a lot of fun strategy. The interactions were good, but the thing is, at the same time, a lot of us felt like we didn't want to have too much role-playing with each other, because we just slowed down the story for everybody else who just want to keep going. So now there's this divide. Do I want to have a fun conversation with this guy and ruin it for everybody else? Or do I just want to go with everybody else and kind of push the story along? Because when you do that, you just the game loses its luster. And of course, the DM has less time to spend with you. Not as much as you'd think. I feel like it's... From 6 to 7, it's not as drastic as it's from 5 to 6. We're still getting less. and the narratives of your story begins to get hard for your DM to track and figure out. 8. During this game, we introduced another player later down in the campaign. To make things worse, this character was a DMPC, which means the DM inserted himself into the game, and there were puzzles that we wouldn't solve. He would solve them for us with this character. He built this character to solve puzzles for us, then why have puzzles? But anyway, my point is, between him talking to himself and the rest of us, this is when you saw a lot of people spend the entire session on their phones. Because everything took a long time. Your shot in the spotlight is very short and far and few in between. Combat is incredibly slow. It's already bad enough for those higher levels, and you have those players who don't pay attention. Because how could you pay attention? You're waiting so long. When it's finally your turn, you're like, oh crap, it's my turn. And so you're going through D&D Beyond, and you're reading through every single thing. What's that? Okay, what's that? Okay, what's that? And so you're waiting for this guy to figure out his next move. Oh my god. Cast your freaking spell, man. Just fireball. I know Don and Jerry are in the way. Screw them. Fireball. I just want to get this over with. I want to move on. I want to have my turn. I want to shoot my one arrow and miss and continue on with the game because the battle is won. Come on, man. 9. 9 is when the game doesn't go anywhere. 9 is when you spend an entire session walking from point A to point B. And in Dungeons and Dragons, what that literally means is like 3 paragraphs of narration. This is when the game is so slow and so boring that you'd want to do anything to make things exciting. Because things don't feel exciting, things feel slow and painful. You would beat up a sheep to make it more exciting. Oh my god, 9 is horrible. Oh my god. Why are you even here at this point? There's no reason to be. Go home. You're not going to have fun. Maybe you can, but you're probably not going to have fun. This isn't, for a DM, this is almost impossible to balance for any combat. Because there's a lot more variables. The thing with D&D is there's a lot of variables of damage. And when you have as many players, as many combos, a lot of buffs, and all this stuff going on, it's really hard to balance this out. And as a players, combat is no longer fun. Granted, I don't think combat's great anyway, but it's even worse now. The game is unplayable. It's like playing a game at 0.5 frames per second. Worse than that. Now for the number, I left at 10 players. 10. There wasn't even enough room at the table for these people. Somebody had to sit on the floor. Somebody sat underneath the table. I did sometimes. But the game was unplayable at 10 people. Now there's an issue with like rules, right? Like, how does a spell work? This happens all the time. Now the DM's like, okay, how does this work exactly? Especially at higher levels. How does this work exactly? He's reading through the book. He has to sit there, make his deliberation. And the next thing you know, an hour has passed and you haven't taken your turn in combat yet. You want to go to the shop. Please, God, you cannot go to the shop by yourself. You have to go with at least 4 people to get anything done. And even then, it's a long time because the DM goes through one person at a time. What do you want? Okay, you want this? Let's do. Let me negotiate. Okay, cool. What do you want? No, I'm negotiating. What do you want? Negotiate. And it's just the biggest slog ever. By the time you're done with every encounter, combat or not, you feel like you've accomplished nothing. As a group, you feel like you accomplished nothing as a member of the group. Because it's no longer like a small party, it's a tribe. It's like an army. You are a guy named Aaron in a massive army of like 100 people at this. That's what it feels like. You are so insignificant, it's not even fun. And they actually kicked me out of this group, if I'm being honest. They kicked me out. because I was like, my character kept wandering off and everything. And I was like, yeah, maybe I should have done that. But at the same time, I was so freaking bored. I could see it all around. Everyone had their Nintendo Switches out. There was 5 of us with their Nintendo Switches out playing a game. Because our turns, the interactions, everything took so long. It was boring. Because with every interaction, the DM also go through his notes. Okay, what does this person, what does this do? It was boring. The mystique wasn't there. The exploration wasn't there. Because the thing is, if there's like a chest, there's 10 people to find this chest. And sometimes that chest isn't even for you. It has a weapon for your cleric. Great. It feels a lot less meaningful because everything I find, 1 out of 10 times it's going to be for my character. And it's boring. Leave. No, don't leave at 10. Leave at 6. No. 6 probably won't work, but leave at 7. 7 is the number you need to be done. Because at that point, the DM has his hands full. He won't admit it. The party is so big, you're insignificant. And just do not play with this amount of people. It's too much, and the game sucks. It sucks. And I just wanted to share this with you, talk about what it feels like to play with different amounts of people versus one DM. And I didn't talk about playing solo because I haven't done that yet. I know someone released a book recently on how to play D&D solo. I think the Genie covered it in a recent video. I haven't done it myself because I've been busy with other tasks because I'm a very busy guy. I mean, look, I'm in a monastery. I'm very smart. I'm too busy learning to take the time to play solo D&D. But that does it for this video. Please like, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And if you feel so inclined, let me know what you think about this video. What number do you think is too much or too little to play D&D with? What's the fair quantity of players you've ever played with or DM'd for? I want to know. Tell me later or right now in the comments. Do it.